Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So we ended up with a pretty much a nothing day, sort of a range bar, but a longer tail to the upside. Sellers coming off the top. It is still green, so we are still grinding higher, but this really concerns me here. If you look at the oscillators, and oscillators are in that kind of position, often you find some kind of a retaliation. So what's happened the last couple of weeks, you can see we grouped the upside and then just basically had a volatile up and down, which eased off a bit, pushed them back the upside, and then sideways again with those head and shoulders, dropped down, eased off a bit, and then started climbing again with a bit of volatility. So yeah, the last time, let me just show you something here. It's well, it doesn't really show up on the DAX, but here's a good example here. So you can see all the way up to the upside here on the oscillators, and then a fairly deep pullback onto some structure. But that was after a breakout, after a pretty strong trend line. So if you look here, you can see nice tight group, and then at the same time, look, very small trading days, nobody buying, nobody selling, everybody like worried, and then all of a sudden the selling started happening, and there it is there, boom. Okay, so if you look at that, not really the same pattern, but the tighter these daily bars get, the more likely you've got some kind of move coming up. Just getting the 3-hour buys are still coming in. The tails to the downside are bigger. We are in a downward trend. You can see that on the oscillators, and but price is not going anywhere. So this level here is holding us up, 15,611. That is the area. That's the current floor at the moment. So let's just get to the hour. I don't think there's much on offer here to buy into. But when you look at that price action, there's no ways you can trade that, guys. Granted, there was probably some of you out there that are making some money off this. But for me, that is not conducive to even looking at a trade, not even talking to yourself about taking a trade. That is just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. Because what's going to happen is, because we're so tight, you're going to start putting large positions on, and because you can have really tight stops, and you're looking for 20, 30, 40 points at the moment. And for me, that's not a trade. I'm looking for 100 points at least, or 100 pips for me. So at the moment, I don't see any opportunities here. So I am still sitting tight, quietly on the side with the DAX and not bothering with this. We do have this big daily gap to the downside as well, and we've also got this little gap here. And I think, if I remember correctly, there are gaps all over the place. But every day is the same price action: big down, big up, big down, big up. Yeah, big down, big up. So the last 3 days have been exactly the same. Over the last 4 days, big down, big up, and that is just a complete sign of complete and utter confusion. And this is on the 15-minute. You can see we're just hovering in and out the 15-minute moving averages here. Yeah, so there's some US data coming out in the next 2 days. So CPI is the last cog in the wheel for the inflation fears, and what the banks are going to do, well, what the central bank's going to have to do. So I think that is pretty much what the investors or traders are waiting for. In the meantime, we're going to have to compete with algorithms that are doing this kind of stuff. Anyway, hope it helps. I'm on the side. I'm not bothered with this, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.